Well, ladies and gentlemen, so for the past couple of weeks, I've been hearing about the quote-unquote 4-star problems in honkaistarrail. Like, you could see it everywhere in Reddit and YouTube and all the stuff like that. And today, I'm gonna give you my opinions on it in the most free-form, casual way possible that I could muster. So, getting right down to it, there apparently aren't enough 4-stars. This is the main problem. There aren't enough 4-stars in Honkai Star Rail. Now, if you do look at the number of 4-stars versus 5-stars, then you can see that the amount of 4-stars is pretty depressing compared to the 5-stars. And the thing is, I do agree with this. There should be more 4-stars, but I agree with it in a sense that I am a free-to-play player, and if I was a spending customer, I probably wouldn't have this opinion. I'm not the person that they're trying to cater to. They're trying to cater to people that would be able to spend. So that I don't have any grounds on saying that. But I do think that people are misunderstanding the question. They don't really want 4-stars. They don't. They just don't. What they want is good 4-stars and not actually 4-stars. They want good units that are affordable. That's the main thing of the issue. It's just that good 4-stars are the best way to handle it. Now, this ties directly into the second problem that people have with 4-stars. The 4-stars that we have aren't good enough. If you look at the roster, this is just absolutely wrong. Look at it. Like, even the 1.0 characters, some of the 1.0 characters are still being used to this day because there isn't that many suitable replacements for them. They still have their own niche. A lot of people are basing their experience of 4-stars. Like, when they hear that a new character is a 4-star, they think they're automatically bad because of their bias and because of their experience of seeing 1.0 4-stars. Because the thing is, most of the 4-stars that have been released were released in 1.0. And 1.0 4-star is already a recipe for disaster, and very few made it out alive. Now that we're in almost 12 patches in Honkai Star Rail, we've definitely seen a lot more 4-stars. Maze is a pretty good character. Misha is an okay character, and you have Shui, which is also a good character. And people are conflating too much on their experience of 4-stars with Arlans and the Hooks, the Servals, when they should be, basing their experiences on the Shuis, the Lynxes of the 4-stars. So, it's people don't have the right expectation, I believe, when they say that 4-stars aren't good enough. So what would be the realistic expectation of power from 4-star units? And this is where what I like to call the 4-star dilemma comes in. The 4-star dilemma is, if you have a strong enough 4-star, then you make your 5-stars look weak. But if you also have a weak 4-star, then the people are gonna devalue that, and there might as well not be a reason for that 4-star to exist. So that's really why a lot of people have this suspicion, and I feel like it's very warranted, that when you put a 4-star label on a character, then you have the right to be suspicious that they're not going to be as good. Because the thing is, if you're going to think about it in a purely money-making mindset, then if you release a 4-star, then by nature, 4-stars in general are the easiest to power creep with absolutely no consequences. Because if you do power creep a 4-star, then it doesn't really have an impact on the sales. Like, you see, if Sampo got power crept by Black Swan, what happened? Well, people still pulled Black Swan. People didn't outrage that Sampo was getting power crept. But also at the other side, if you're gonna be overdoing 4-stars in terms of numbers, then you're gonna make your 5-stars less valuable. So you run into the risk of not making any sales because you made one thing too good. The thing about 4-stars is they're cheap, right? And at some point, you will get someone E6. At some point in the game, you will get them either through 4-star selectors or just your plain luck. You will get a 4-star, at least at E0, and someday at E6. And the E0 5-stars are not comparable in that sort of way, because you do have to plan for E0 5-stars. Whereas with 4-stars, even if you don't plan it, you're still gonna get it probably. So again, if you think about it in the purely money-making mindset, then making a good 4-star just has no benefit to you. And that's what people are suspicious about when they hear about 4-stars. Now, thankfully, Star Rail doesn't really do this because they have a few ways of making 4-stars good. Now, what they exercise a lot is that they could give 4-stars something unique, even if they are numerically worse than the 5-star contender that they have. Now, let's say someone like Pela. She is AoE, she is easier to play, even though her numbers are a lot worse than Silverwolf. she does better in AoE simply because she's easier to play, and because she's SP positive, she's much easier for comfort than Silverwolf. She's still very much useful even though Silverwolf objectively has better numbers. Then you have someone like Ting Yun, of course. Even if she doesn't provide the best buffs, having someone that is available to use their ultimate at the 0 action value to commit your 0 cycles is a thing that people actually like to min-max, and is a very strong tool for using DDD and all that other strategies. So even though 4 stars could have worse numbers, just giving them something unique allows them to set apart themselves from 5 stars in certain use cases. Now, you could go with this to the extreme and do it another way. You could make 4 stars specialize at one thing with really competitive numbers. An example of this that we have right now would be Shui. Shui is a very strong character. She has competitive numbers with 5 stars, but if you don't bring her to Quantum Weakness, she does not feel good to play at all and is more in line with very mediocre 4 stars. So while she is objectively a very strong character, she's locked to a certain use case, which does still make 5-star DPSs that are similar to her still good. Like, just because Shui is strong at one specific use case, then a 5-star that works in more use cases isn't going to lose value because she is strong. I could also see this being the future of 4 stars and maybe even 5 stars in general. Just making units that are so specific at one thing that they don't invalidate other characters. For example, I could see a future where Misha is actually a very good 4-star for freeze, but when they release a 5-star that's also really good for freeze but good at everywhere else, then Misha isn't going to be devalued because, he's still good at freeze. It's just that that one character does more situations better, and that achieves the effect of Misha a 4-star being strong, but also the 5-star doesn't look weak when it's put in front of him. Like I said, there's a lot more good 4-star characters than there are bad 4-star characters. It's just that a lot of people have this, selective memory where they look at most of the 4-star units and don't realize that most of them are 1.0, and the old heads have already internalized that the 4 stars are gonna be a bad omen. There's a couple of things like that. It's not as simple as 4 stars are better than 5 stars or 5 stars are better than 4 stars. HSR is a pretty nuanced team building game, so I hope that I've illustrated to you that 4 stars or 5 stars, the value of it depends a lot on the team, and it's not just the rarity itself. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Comment down below what you think about 4 stars in honkaistarrail. Like, subscribe, do the all good stuff. I'll see you later. Wow, that was the cleanest outro I've ever done. Did you see that?